Alright, so I'm actually recording this video in my car on my break from work because life has been a little bit crazy lately and I've been trying to find the energy to make videos and stuff, but this has been, like I said, crazy, and I'm just trying to get some content out while it's on my mind. So basically, what I wanted to talk about today was, where does magic come from? Can't remember where I got inspired by the idea other than maybe rereading the magician's books and just pondering stuff while I'm at work and I can actually think about stuff. But where does magic come from, right? So there's a couple of different models that go along with this idea, and hopefully you guys can hear me okay, because once again, I'm in my car. But, so psychological model. The idea that magic is really just an innate ability for us to manipulate our own psychology, to basically manifest things more in a way and more subconsciously notice things, and therefore go from point A to B to C to D to success, right? Then you have an energy model where the idea is that energy is kind of all around us, just kind of waiting to be used. And it is through interacting with that energy, because we are really just vibrating things of energy if you go to like quantum mechanics and everything, because all of our molecules and atoms are constantly vibrating, and therefore we influence everything else around us. So magic is just a way of manipulating the energies around us in, once again, a domino effect. Now, whether that is conscious or subconscious is kind of up to the user and up to theory. Now, as you guys know, I really heavily rely on psychology for this stuff. I always say that the unconscious is the gateway to manipulating the universal web with magic. So that kind of goes with both the psychological model and the energetic model. I know that there are at least 3 more models that are discussed by Frater UD, and I might make a video on that once I have the energy and the time to sit down and go over it and stuff. But one of the biggest ideas is that we manipulate stuff around us to create change. So the psychological model says, no, we don't really manipulate things around us. It's more of like manifestation or the secret. But the energy model says, yes, we do manipulate stuff around us, and the subconscious is the gateway to both. Whether we manipulate our subconscious to be more aware of different things that we find and we go from A, B, C, D, or if the subconscious allows us to connect with some other sense other than our 5 senses, and of course there are more like proprioception and time and stuff, in order to communicate and send messages out through all those vibrations in order to manifest different things on a magical level. You can't really call it a quantum level. You kind of got to call it a magical level because it's a little bit different in understanding rather than quantum physics. It's more metaphysics in that sense. On a side note, let me know if you guys want me to dive deeper into metaphysics, because magic kind of ties in with metaphysics. Speaking of which, I wrote my doctoral dissertation on comparing magic to metaphysics, and if you are one of my Patreon supporters, I actually did put my paper up on Patreon, so if you want to read quasi 40 pages on how those two things interrelate, then you feel free to join my Patreon and support me. I got a ton of other content up on there that I upload whenever I find something good. I have at least one, either a early release video a month or an exclusive video a month. Sometimes I will put in videos from my classes that I have on Udemy on Patreon, and that way you don't necessarily have to go to Udemy to learn a little extra something. But I'm basically building a plethora of different ways to get my content out and teach everything that I know and that I study and I obsess over. So it's here on YouTube, Udemy, and Patreon. You guys can find the links to that down in the description. But it's just a really interesting thing to think about where magic comes from. You know, we all have the capacity to practice magic, and I think that it's not just people are born with it or not with it, and I think it's a skill that can be learned by anyone. And one of the biggest things in the magicians is like, where does magic come from? Does it come from the gods? And of course in book 2 the gods actually try to turn magic off. Now, can gods use magic? Arguably yes, by their ability to manipulate things in a way that is non-physical. Well, we also can manipulate things in a way that is non-physical, which is why we manifest things that seemingly don't have a 5 cents-ish pathway, which is why we use magic to create things that we otherwise couldn't make. I mean, physically, people can make things like, a chair, a book, a desk, things like that. But can we create opportunities and events? Yes, we can. And that's more along the lines of magic. Can we create certain states of consciousness? Can we change the way that our energy works on the inside? Yes, we can. Now, you can say that that's like positive thinking and things like that, but there's a very, very gray line between the positive thought movement, new thought movement, manifestation, the secret, and whether it is magic, whether it is not magic. Some people will say it is, some people will say that it is not. But the big idea is magic is something that is a non-physical way of creating things. Now, trying to get back on topic here, I'm kind of exhausted. I'm halfway through my shift at the moment. But so I honestly think that magic comes from within all of us. I don't believe that it comes from a being. I mean, if we were created by a being, or a group of beings, whether it be, Yahweh or the Anunnaki, Marduk, Enki, any of those guys, then the fact that we have the ability to practice magic means we were given it. And I don't think that it is something that can necessarily be taken away. It is something that is built within everyone, and we have the ability to access it or not. Whether we are practicing magic or manifestation or the secret or whatever, it is all means of non-physical manifestation of physical things and or events. So, been a bit of a ramble, because once again I'm tired, but let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments. Let me know if you guys are okay with more videos like this, because I'm trying to get more content out, but I'm working my tuchus off here, and I just wanted to be able to follow through with making videos as well in the ways that I can. So, drop some comments down below. You guys can always email me all that good stuff you can find at the end of the video. So good hunting. Thanks for watching my video. So if you want to check out my playlists, I have, among others, the Simon Necronomicon, the Tree of Life, General Magic, Tulpamancy, a playlist on my books, the elements, stones, the theories that govern magic, and the gods and goddesses of Mesopotamia. If you want to check out my books on Amazon, I have Creating Consciousness, Magical Mechanics, Magical Theater, Handy Sigil Magic, Magical Movement, which is an update and expansion upon Handy Sigil Magic, Magical Mastery, which is a combination masterwork of Magical Theater and Magical Mechanics, and The Guide to the Spheres and Beyond. You can also find me on Facebook at Magickology YT. You can email me at priestofthenecro@gmail.com, and you can even check out my Instagram, which is Magickology. And good hunting.